it's also around the fear of being that one individual in the dressing room environment that chooses to wear the rainbow laces and 28 or 29 of your colleagues have chosen not to, but that there's a fear that I'm the only one wearing them, so now that there's a suspicion around my sexuality, or why is he wearing them, or why is he chosen? Is there more safety in numbers?
So we're here today to talk about the LGBTQ+ community in the GAA, a very important topic. And I guess there's been great progress made over recent years, especially looking back at SuperValu Pride campaign last year. So the big question is, how do we move the needle even further? I
suppose last year was a great starting point, or maybe midpoint in the GAA's journey with LGBT issues, and it was great again to have SuperValu on board, but particularly with the Rainbow Laces campaign, to see them actually in the shops, on the counters, when you walked into SuperValu. That felt good to see that happening, and to go in the following week and notice that the box was empty was such a lovely thing, and then to see children in the community with them in their laces.
I thought they were brilliant, just even to open up a conversation. They're so bright, they hit you in the face. All the kids were just like, where do you get them? Well, what's the story? And that then opened up the conversation. Why do you wear them? Especially on Ballinam, I have to say, there's still a load of young people rocking around with them in their shoes and in their football boots.
We brought them into the referees in Abbottstown, the hurling and the football referees, and it was the first time, I suppose, I had the opportunity to speak to them about my sexuality. I mean, obviously they all know I'm gay, but I've never had that open conversation with all of them around, how difficult it was for me to come out, and what a difference something so visible within the GAA structure would have meant to me growing up. Just that I would have known that, this is actually somewhere where I belong, and this is somewhere where I can thrive, and this is a community that I can fit into.
What I've noticed in the women's game is every Pride month in June, we take a minute to kind of reflect, like it might be 1 minute before or after training, just be like, why we're here for Pride, what it means to us. Here's a Pride flag, let's take a picture. A small little token like that can make a huge difference, and maybe that's where the men's game is behind a bit. There's not that much visible allyship out in the media, out in the public, or out in inter-county teams. But how do we go about moving that, I suppose, is the big question,
In our setup and in the women's game in general, it seems to be a lot more normalised. Some of my best friends in club and county have come out and you just wouldn't even bat an eyelid about it. And in our environment, I feel like it is just received really well in the women's game, and that's because there's a lot probably more people coming out.
But maybe in the years coming ahead with the amalgamation of the three associations, it might be something that the GAA could learn from the Camogie Association and the LGFA as to the kind of strength and unity around LGBTQ issues within the sister organisations, and what they can bring to the GAA to show them how best to educate the other members. But it's more for those players as allies to be showing young people and other people around the country, that there is this acceptance of LGBTQ people in the community, because they are our heroes, and they're the ones that we see on the television during the championship throughout the whole summer, and they make a huge impact on young people within the communities. And if they're wearing rainbow laces, if Padraig is wearing rainbow laces, children in Mayo want to wear rainbow laces, and that is the key to opening up the conversation.
Yeah, it definitely does. I definitely would have liked to seen a bigger uptake. If we have the superstars in Tyrone and Dublin and Kerry and all these, the kids are looking up. If they see those lads and ladies with them in their boots, then they're more inclined. I'd love to see a few more players certainly do that.
And do you think it's also around the fear of being that one individual in the dressing room environment that chooses to wear the rainbow laces and 28 or 29 of your colleagues have chosen not to, but that there's a fear that I'm the only one wearing them, so now that there's a suspicion around my sexuality, or why is he wearing them, or why is he chosen? Is there more safety in numbers if everyone just does it, or is there just a fear?
I don't know. Because it wouldn't put me up or down, that kind of way. For me, certainly it wouldn't. I wouldn't care if anybody else was wearing them. But you've got a good point. Maybe that is the case. You don't want to force people to do anything.
Not.
I know
No,
you don't.
no.
It needs to be an option. And to be honest, I just think it's a really easy way to support a community.
And I suppose we probably should reflect and see how far we've come. I know we're trying to think of what can we do next? What can we do next? What'll make something different? But if you look back 10 years ago, we weren't having these conversations, you know.
Absolutely. There's no way we would have been sitting here with a business or a company sponsoring a D&I event within a sports organisation 10 years ago. And we're 4 years into a campaign now that's doing wonderful work around communities all around the country. And it's great that we're still here having these conversations and talking about moving it on and moving it to the next step.
Yeah, it takes time, doesn't it, change? Any form of change. I genuinely think I work with a lot of young people. They are the change. You know, they've been sculpted a little bit differently. They're far more open, far more expressive. That would be where my hope would fall anyway, that they'll trickle in and slowly change the culture, and that it will be a place that somebody will put their hand up and be open about their sexuality in a male dressing room.
And I think there's just like a lot more exposure to it now with social media and stuff. They're seeing it in different places and like seeing that it is okay, like, which obviously wasn't happening probably a number of years ago. So like all these things can only be positive things at the end of the day. And as you said, it takes time.